Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurt. What I'm going to talk about is a hot rod trick for Triumphs. Some Triumphs come with a 3-weight governor, and then a few of them in production came out with a 4-weight governor. And years ago when I bought this Triumph, a dear friend, Ron Dempelson, the Edison researcher, showed me his Triumph. He says, oh, you need to put a 4-weight in your Triumph. It'll smooth everything out. Well, this is the day I get to do it. My personal machine here blew out. I fired it up and it blew out the weight here, and I had been waiting for this. And this is very interesting, and it's very complicated. First, we're going to talk about the bearings to the governor. And these are the 2 bearings for the governor. This is the side that goes into the governor here, and this is the back side. You'll pull it apart and you'll say, why is that pin in there? There's a pin stuck in the bottom of the governor bearing, and that one too. This is the stop that stops it where it's supposed to be.
Only on a 4-weight governor?
No, on all Triumphs. The other thing is, you have to pay close attention where the bearings go in here, because one of these bearings is bigger than the other bearing. One is loose and one is not. And so when you take them out, if you get confused, you'll stick one in and you go, yeah, that fits very nice and tight. And you stick the other one in and it won't go in that hole. That's because this one is slightly bigger and it goes to the gear side. This is the gear. This goes to the gear side of the governor. And I will show you very quickly. You'd put this one in, and you can see how loose it is. So to get all this apart, you first have to take your on-off switch, unscrew this, and turn everything to the side. I just unscrewed it and flipped it over and then screwed it back in. Next, you're going to take out the governor yoke. This is the on-off switch right here. And these run in a pin and a slot. And it hits right here where my fingertip is and right here, because this rocks this way and back for on-off on a Triumph. And it's nice to put a little bit of grease, just a little dab in here for the pivot. And then you're going to have to take out the secondary gear train, which goes right here. This is just to get the governor out. You have to take this gear train out, which is here. Now, if you notice the shaft, I have a slot for this screw to lock down on the Triumph, but this one's closer to the end and this one's farther away. So now you have to know what way they go in. You should take a picture when you pull it out, but I know from experience that this one fits in here, and it runs on that gear, and the other one's closer, which means this gear is going to go this way, and it'll hit that brass gear. So now you have to do everything in reverse. I've cleaned everything up. And this is a 4-weight governor.
Why do you want a 4-weight governor?
It smooths out the motor when it runs. Sometimes on Triumphs you have to loosen this up so the shaft will move. So you're going to stick the rear end in first, which will go that way, and now it clears. And you would put, that's the one that goes that side, and not the pin side, but that hole there. You get it in, and bingo. You'll also know that the flywheel here is a little bit thicker than the original. It's just a little bit thicker. Then you will, the best way when you do this is to flex hone these out so that the shaft will slide like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert it from this side. You put this in here. The governor out of the way of the gear. You'll put this gear on. Then you will these two are the same. There's not a difference. Then you'll put this one in. And you'll put this one in. That one fit in. Now you get those in. Then you turn this over where it aligns. Bring this in.
Turn what over?
You have to have the flat showing up to you, so you know the flat is straight up. You'll bring this in, line that gear up,
Okay, so the screw goes into the flat part.
the slot, and then you'll just tighten that up a little. And if you want to know how you hit this flat, you just walk that off a little, and it just doesn't go anywhere, and you'll feel it in there.
When's the last time you had this Triumph apart?
38 years ago. That's a long time for me. And then we will adjust the governor. Then you will put the yoke in around like that. And now you'll have to unscrew all this and put the speed control on. And then after you get everything in place, you'll set up the gap. I already did this here. A couple of these were a little loose on me. I've done this one. Then you're going to oil, while you have this apart, then you will put your oil in here, in here, in here, in here. The bearing has one here. The other side, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Then you'll drop a little bit of oil in here for the spring barrel shaft that goes through. And then there's an oiling hole on this one, and you'll be good to go. And then I'll put a new belt on, because I think I'm here, why not I do a new belt on this. But these really, really smooth out Triumphs. I make them run just like clockwork, and it smooths them out. You know, I love this hobby. I love these little hot rod tricks you have. One of the interesting things about the 4-ball governor, those are on an Amarola 1A, too, just to note. And that's my tip for the day.